A comprehensive home weatherizing effort is never complete without a thorough assessment and sealing of the basement. In many homes, heat loss through the basement accounts for a significant share of energy loss, particularly through joist bays and cellar windows. Jim Bradley, a contractor who specializes in home energy efficiency renovation, will demonstrate 2 techniques for insulating rafter bays, and then show you how to use low expansion foam to seal a window.
All right, we're here today to look at a basement and how the basement is actually properly insulated and air sealed. One of the ways that traditionally basements have been insulated around the perimeter or even in the floors would be with craft face paper insulation or just regular bat insulation. That's usually stuffed into the bays around the perimeter of the basement. And unfortunately, fiberglass, when it's installed in such fashion, is not serving as a good air barrier.
Typically, urethane foam insulation kits are comprised of 2 tanks, the contents of which are mixed in use to form an expanding foam insulation. Upon applying with a simple sprayer gun, the foam expands to fill cavities and cracks and hardens in minutes. In addition to the dual tanks, the kits include hoses, a sprayer gun, and replaceable sprayer tips, and many kits contain protective gear as well.
Whether you're doing a small foaming job or a large foaming job, even if you think it's only going to take you a few seconds, always wear these protective measures because it only takes an instance to expose yourself to some type of chemical that you really didn't want to, or you could also end up getting it on your hands or your clothing and then spend a lot of time getting it back off.
Before getting started, it's important to clear your joist bays of any loose fiberglass insulation and to wipe off the bays to ensure a clean surface for the foam to adhere to. Because of the dust and fiberglass that will be kicked up, it's a good idea at this point to start wearing safety glasses and a respirator. Foam insulation is best applied in a series of layers. The foam generates heat as it expands and cures, and too much heat and pressure in a confined space can cause the foam to crack and fail.
As we did in our test box here, just to make sure that the foam was mixing appropriately and curing appropriately, you can see after just a few seconds, probably about within 30 seconds, it skins over. There is some warmth created by it, but it skins over so that it's not sticky to the touch anymore. And this is important. Because of the heat that's generated by this, by the foam, the curing process, and the fact that it does skin over like this, what you need to do is not apply too much at one time. Right here you see a good example of a 1-inch lift or 1-inch layer. So if you have a 3-inch cavity or you want a 3-inch layer of overall foam, you need to come back over that area 3 different times. If you were to try to foam it all at once, too much heat could be generated and it could cause a foam failure. It wouldn't cause a fire necessarily, but it would cause a foam failure and you'd have to clean it out and start over again. So it's very important to apply it first in these easy lifts like this, and that allows you then to go to a couple other areas and then come back and do another lift.
So again, lay down a 1-inch lift, let the foam expand, harden, and cool while you fill other bays, then come back through and repeat in 1-inch lifts until you have the desired thickness. Another option for sealing joist bays at the foundation is a combination of rigid foam insulation board and low expansion foam. The key to this procedure is to cut your pieces of rigid foam to be slightly smaller than the bay opening. Then seal it in place with the lines of the foam. Finally, it's important to inspect the basement windows, which can often have little to no air seal to the outside. Once again, the principle of laying down an initial line of foam, letting it expand and cure, and then applying additional layers as needed to ensure an airtight barrier applies. Creating an airtight seal around your basement's foundation and windows is a relatively simple, yet remarkably potent way to enhance the energy efficiency of your home. Taking an afternoon to do so while the weather is warm will put money in your pocket when the temperatures turn cold.